Oh, well, hello there. Yeah, I was been thinking of doing another YouTube video for a while. I was thinking of maybe reviewing my favorite series of all time, the John Cleaver series by Dan Wells. But I wasn't sure how to do that. I think I will do video on that soon. But then a certain thing happened, which made me a little... A show that I reviewed in an Instagram post called Queen Sono, a South African Netflix original, it got canceled even though it was in for season 2, because, COVID, or else known as the curse that fucked this year up in its raw asshole, got that done, because COVID, you don't really know how everything's gonna go nowadays. And, and also with Blood and Water, another show which I thought was good, but not as good as Queen Sono, is getting filmed. Its season 2 is getting filmed right now in Cape Town as we speak. But this made me think of a question that nobody really asked, but I don't care because I like to do my own thing. Why I tend to watch older shows. Why I don't watch new shows. Why I only watch shows that are like Backless, they're old, they're completed, and even shows that nobody really knew about. So these are the reasons why that is. Number 1, for obvious reasons, cliffhangers and the story's not getting resolved. You just get invested in a show or whatever story. Like, you get invested into it, and you really, 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 really want to know what happens next. But then it gets canceled, and you'll never know. And of course, it's obviously frustrating to a lot of us watchers as well as readers, because for stories, we like to get invested and wrapped up in these stories and these characters and these worlds. So it's of course just annoying when that just gets taken away from us and it just gets cut off. Because, well, yeah, because money and greedy execs and them just want to do reboots instead of actual, real, creative, original stories, but whatever. Sorry, that's another ranty thing because that I'm kind of annoyed with. But yeah, that's pretty obvious reason. But we all hate them. We all know that where a show, does an easily, cheaply done cliffhanger where it's like, oh, this thing's hanging. Oh, that person's hanging. Oh, you want to find out? Well, just gonna have to wait. Because they think with that, it's gonna get, viewers and readers or whatever to just, hook in and, just see what happens next. But guess what? That's not gonna guarantee you another season or a full-ass series, because guess what? So many other shows tried that but failed. And shows that I even watched, I like The Innocents, Queen Sono, Tidelands, which I was also really looking forward to when it came out, as well as 2 older ones I watched. I can't even with that MTV show Victoria Justice and Open Heart, some Canadian show. Yeah, I watched those. But yeah, it's just annoying that for these stories that we get interested in seeing how they want to play out, and then they get canceled. It's obviously annoying because, us viewers want to see these stories end. We want to see that. And it just is annoying when so many other stuff gets to go on and on and on while these just, poof, they're done. And yeah, it's just annoying like that, because, you want to see more of it. You want to see more of these characters and these stories, but unfortunately, it just doesn't happen. Number 2, because these shows are older, they're backlist, and you know that they're gonna end, you know that they're gonna get resolution at the end. So, it's more comforting in that I won't have to stress myself over wasted time. Even if the show wasn't that good, at least it ends. At least the show ends, and at least you can talk about that show, or, a comic series, or whatever, with other people, with other, people who like stuff, who like shows, who like books, like movies, or whatever, and you get to discuss it with them. Even if you didn't like said thing, at least you can discuss it with people, and you won't get mad over, that thing that ended and it never got a full ending. It's just so annoying. Unlike some other shows where, they kind of ended, because you could make the argument of, the shows got canceled because they weren't that good, which sure, but quality is subjective. You can argue, quality is objective, and this is, sure, if you want to believe that, whatever. For me, I believe that quality is subjective, because we as people, we vary with our tastes, and we have things that appeal to us. Sure, a series like Six of Crows, which is very popular, I personally didn't care for, mainly because of my own personal stuff with me, because the autistic and some other stuff. But, it just didn't appeal to me. Or other stuff that I just thought was okay, a book that I read that I thought was okay, or a show that I watched that I think was that good. But because, I have things that appeal to me, and these stuff didn't appeal to me. But obviously it did appeal to other people, because it got a full run, so I was okay, that's totally fine. But, yeah, whatever. But, because, with older stuff, not only do you get to kind of, explore, older, memos and, books, shows, whatever, and get to, experience them for the first time, but also, like, you get to find yourself in a new fandom. And also, you can help an old show get reinvigorated and more popular with more people watching it and more people liking it. And you get to introduce more people onto it and maybe help it get popularity again. Because, yeah. Also, number 3, because it's like, it's just a big risk. You know, talking to me about risk and this, but also, like, that's different, you know, with Greek X. Because, you know, with a new show or, you know, a new story that's going to be ongoing and not a mini-series or whatever, you're taking a risk of whether it will be worth it in the end to where you'll actually get rewarded with a good story with cool characters that are really fascinating and intriguing, good world building, maybe a kick-ass soundtrack and a nice cinematography, you know, like cool shots, and just with a really invigorating story. Or if it's just not going to be that good and you just wasted several hours of your life watching it. You know, it's always this big risk, and sure, it's good to take risk all the time, but not every risk is gonna pay off well. Like, say, you know, for a movie coming out with a new director, the director will take huge risks, but they might be a little, you know, too into it and too so sure of themselves and so confident that it's gonna pay out that it just doesn't work out and it ends up going down the fucking drain. So yeah, like, it just like, you know, with risks, like, sometimes it's good to take risks, but sometimes for a risk, you just have to just wait to see if it will pay off. Like, for a newer show, like, say I wait for it to see if it gets a second season, but then even after that, I wait to see if it gets a third season. And if it ends up going to 3 or 4 seasons, then it's like, okay, more stuff for me to watch, and it'll be worth it. So I just save myself so many more hours of time watching another show that I end up really enjoying. And, yeah, and also, there's all these general reasons. Cliffhangers, you know, surety, and you not taking a risk that you might be nervous about. And that's why. You know, because with comics, like, it's kind of like a little, yeah, but with comics, you never really know. Like, with The Empty Man, like, 4 years, and then it got some new, like, series in it. Because with comics, you never really know when something's going to come back or not. And also, for little updates, I did finish Kingdom on Netflix. Not the Korean one, the American show. And I thought it was decent. I thought it was okay. But they did do this one thing near the end that I didn't like. I wasn't a fan of, that I can understand why, you know, the writer did that, but I'm just... And also, I'm still reading The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I don't know, I think I am being lazy with this book, because, like, I've read this since November 1st, and I'm obviously over halfway through of it, but I just need to get this damn book finished. Okay, sorry for that little scratching of the nose, because I don't want to be awkward, but also I should hopefully learn in the future how to edit correctly, and how to cut little awkward moments out, because, you know. Anyways, what future videos will I be doing? Well, the John Cleaver series, definitely, and I think I'll be doing some mini reviews of some shows that I saw recently. Anyways, see you next time.